Alright guys, welcome to the Red Report. In this show we just go over the news that's been going on around the game for the past week. First up we have a dev response from the DJ Bunting. This one's pretty interesting actually. Can we get nameplates back in Arena Commander? The DJ Bunting says we'll continue to keep AC mechanics matching the PU as much as possible. With that said, for 4.3 we're looking to change nameplates to be revealed by a ping wave, both for Arena Commander and the PU. And the nameplates will only be available as long as they are in a radar contact. So you need ping each time to get the name back up. This is a temporary measure to improve things while we close out radar and scanning in Squadron 42, before we look into enabling scan wave. So that's cool. The most important bit of news that I came across was the flat cat, obviously, a small carnivorous animal indigenous to Campos. It evolved on a high gravity world, so flat cat is wide and squat and stocky, muscular legs. There was a trend for pet flat cats in the early 30th century that was short-lived because they were smelly and they scratched everything. So now you know. We've got to look at the leaderboard for ship showdown. Vulture is out in front for heavy duty division. Speed Demons is the Razor. Run and gun is the Polaris. How much running does the Polaris actually do? I'm wondering. And also, if you've got a pledged Perseus, does that count as having a Polaris, since that's the loaner ship? These are incredibly important questions. My guess would be no, right? I am a bit surprised that it's beating the F7A and the TAC, so I always thought the TAC was more popular. Strange. Pathfinder. The ES? Fuck off. Sorry. Excuse my language. But the ES? Guys? ES. Is that the version where you've lost half the cargo bay for absolutely no reason? It's just padded out to give you less space for no reason. It's not like there's more components in there. It's just filled. Okay? I guess I better watch my mouth because there's obviously quite a lot of ES enjoyers out there. It has still got more guns, right? Suppose that's a bonus point. And the kitchen and bedroom and stuff's bigger or something as well, isn't it? I mean, I suppose. Disgruntled. What's this? The raft. Let's go. The raft has carried this patch. Absolutely carried this whole patch. Alien Division. Prowler Utility. Yes. I'd be happy with that. Road Warrior. That's got to be the Nusra. Yep. Oh, is that the MTC? Ah, poor wee guy. At least Dan McCabe will be happy. I mean, coming second to a Nusra's actually pretty good going, to be fair. What's this? The Gladiator? Holy buckets. Wow. You guys are awesome. You guys are freaking awesome. This thing is amazing, except that it's not. But it should be amazing. Just give us these guns, bro. Come on. I would fly this ship all day, every day if you just gave me these extra guns. And that's them all. Yeah, okay. I'm liking how this is going, actually. I mean, apart from the Polaris, which nobody's getting the skin for, the rest of these can maybe be achieved with some slight CCU tweaking here and there. We'll see. Yeah, be interesting to see how that develops. Now that these results are out, you know, people might push other ships harder. This 85X is close by the looks of things. That would be pretty crazy as well. Yeah, cool stuff. In other dev response news, this guy was going on about the magical teleport eject if you're in someone else's ship and it's an armistice. Now, there's kind of two sides to this and they both have ups and downsides. But yeah, this was generally more of a pain in the ass than it should have been. L. Presley at CIG. The teleport at a distance implementation was never intended to remain for 4.2.1. We made a further fix to limit it only to dock ships. But this did not take due to an oversight where after testing the code was committed but not the data. This meant it was not possible to hotfix. The change to make the teleport only happen when docked is now in 4.3. It only happens to those trespassing on a still owned ship, one the owner has not claimed. If the ship has been claimed, it is counted as abandoned and you may do with it what you want, though I appreciate it might not be clear right now what is and isn't abandoned. So for 4.3, the only players this should inconvenience now are those stealing ships which are only able to be docked, with the only alternative being to take these to Grim Hex's extra large hangar for offloading goods. Even this is a temporary solution, but one that might remain a while as we continue to develop our security systems. Right, so we're going to be stuck with that for a while, but that's great. So all the other ships won't have this teleport thing, and it should only occur when a big ship is docked. This guy was asking about the Orison not giving out an extra large hangar when you return home thing. It would always ask you to dock, which has been a nightmare if you're in a Polaris full of cargo, because then you need to dock, and then you need to store the ship, and then you need to bring it back up in the hangar and then empty it. This guy is saying my current workaround is to have a pulse in the bridge and using it to open the extra large hangar in the home planet. But that will only work on Crusader if Crusader is your home, basically. That's a cool little tip there. Okay, on to the monthly report. Now, I'm not going to go over everything. I'm not just going to sit here and read the whole freaking website. Just going to pick out any interesting parts that stand out. In July, the AI features team continued to develop new creatures, including prototype gameplay for a boss fight. And it looks like they've been working on new tech for this as well that should make it faster and faster to keep doing this in the future. So I'm guessing that big ass Valakar would be considered a boss, right? Our first boss in the game. So it looks like we are definitely going down the boss route. And there will be sub-bosses on missions, like humans with just chunky armour and stuff as well. We've seen quite a few of them for a few years. You know, CG Orison and stuff. But big ass bosses, that's definitely new. And it looks like there's going to be a lot more, which is cool. That's actually awesome. I'm not looking for Destiny, but, you know, some bosses around the place definitely wouldn't be a detriment, I don't think. Human combat polish features included a close-range shove attack that allows the AI to respond rapidly to the player or other NPC getting too close. There's also something here about AI weapon and dynamic condition on weapons. For example, when weapons change from rapid fire to single fire when overheating. There was some facial animations captured and processed for some new mission givers and a mini-boss. Also a new ship enter-exit template animation alongside pickups for bespoke gameplay features for an upcoming PU release. I've got a funny feeling that's going to be something interesting. Maybe Paladin related. That's a guess. I don't know. On to ships. The Anvil Paladin has had its grey box gate review. Something went screw with the side turret and they've had to do some fixing. The Ironclad Assault has progressed through white box and there's been some key differences implemented between it and the base version. There's also been a lot of navigation flow updates made there as well, including new elevators and staircases and stuff. 4 unannounced vehicles were progressed down the pipeline. First was kicked off and is approaching end of white box, where the second passed its white box review and progressed into grey box. The third continued through development, with all its rooms receiving further geometry refinement alongside additional animation work for its moving elements. So what stage is it at? Like, that you would think that would be quite early on, but the final unannounced vehicle passed a combined gate review. This was done to provide more time for the audio, UI and VFX teams to add additional details, with the aim of setting new standards for their disciplines. Okay. Well, I mean, I think we're all for better stuff. The RSI Apollo, Medevac and Triage passed their LOD 0 reviews and are now in the final stages. So that's things like damage and paints and stuff like that. So they're practically done. They're about ready to rumble. And definitely could be here for IAE. The RSI Perseus progressed into LOD 0 phase. The exterior is now receiving fine detail work to visually bring it in line with other RSI ships. So again, it's not quite at the getting its paints done and damage decals, but pretty much it's nearly there. And again, that will be here for IAE. Pretty much guaranteed. Looking at this image here that we've got off the Perseus, it looks to be coming along fine. That has some serious detailing on the exterior. This could be the dual size 3 Gatling on the top here. But what are these? If those are PDCs, they look very much like cannons. Laser cannons, in fact. Which is very interesting. Obviously, I could be wrong, but imagine they were flat cannons. Yeah, just imagine that with your tiny little minds. And obviously, we have the size 7, I think it is, ballistic cannon, manned. Sheesh. That's got 2 guns on it. It's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be fun and games. Finally, the Drake Kraken had further pre-production work done. This identified more areas where kits from the Ironclad will help speed up the production, as well as some more challenging internal areas that require updated concept time, such as engineering and the recently added small medical facility. Yeah, you just take your time, guys. You let that one cook, cause it's gonna be my baby. I need that to be perfect. I have no idea how I'm gonna get one, but we'll think of something. I mean, you only need one kidney. Spawning in your hangar is back, apparently, and the spawning flow there should also pave the way to allow players to spawn where they were after they log out, within reason. The inventory user interface concept shown recently on Star Citizen Live has entered development. It's looking like tooltips and stuff have been added for hacking gameplay to help players along. Engineering gameplay entered tech preview preparation. So not tech preview yet, but preparation for tech preview. All the code and stuff is getting moved into a staging area. Thruster temperatures are now visible on the screen, and all the icons and stuff for diagnostics and engineering screens have been unified. As part of a looting and harvestable quality of life initiative, the team completed a new implementation of loot generation. The system is twice as fast as the previous version and includes better controls for the designers alongside improved debug tools. The item expiry feature kicked off, which will allow the designers to define the functionality lifetime of items. This is designed for items like key cards that are only meant to be usable for a limited amount of time before they become non-functional. The item's state and a timer will be visible in the inventory. The refactor for quantum interdiction on server meshing was completed. There are still a few outstanding tasks on that though, and it will be delivered a bit later in a future release. Control surfaces and fly-by-wire systems were finished. This also included the implementation of auto-trimming. Auto-trimming is a weird one there, actually. So, say you damage a wing or a flap or something, and you're constantly pulling to the right, say. Normally you could try and trim that out to keep a steady straight path, right? So I'm wondering if we will have trim controls now, or if it will be forced auto-trimming, or both. Both would be better, obviously. We'll have to wait and see what they've came up with. But that's interesting. Quantum travel's coming along. Not much news on that though. FPS radar and scanning saw some progress. AI can now react to being scanned and respond accordingly. Players will also be able to identify if enemy NPCs have a radar equipped and could perceive the player scanning. Yes. Now we're getting somewhere. We are definitely creeping towards that electronic warfare that's kind of been an elephant in the room, like Star Citizen futuristic spaceships compared to modern jets, and how radar works, and how the ranges for these missiles should probably be, and how you should act to avoid getting picked up. I mean, if all that comes into play and it works like they're saying it's going to work, which they haven't said, I'm just guessing, but that would bring things like scouting onto the battlefield. You would have to really work to get some intel without being compromised, if that makes sense. So, we'll see. We'll see how this works. The ongoing transport refactor continued with additional work for dynamic destinations, such as instanced hangars. Core gameplay worked with the content teams to expose more controls for item rewards. Additional support for the mechanics of an upcoming creature was also provided. The team then invested time in addressing critical issues preventing the usage of drop-off lockers that are required for an upcoming set of missions. Maybe we're getting delivery missions back. That'd be cool. The narrative team were crafting lore for a new ship seller, who they hope will be a fun addition to the verse. And that's all for the monthly report. There were some new ships added to the in-game shops. We have the Drake Golem, the Misk Fortune, the Mirai Guardian, and the Hornet Ghost Mark II. So happy sneaky Hornet time. The price for the Drake Golem is 1,058,000. The Misk Fortune is 1.9 million. The Mirai Guardian is 6.6 million. And the Hornet Ghost is 5.38 million. Those are rough, but around about that. Dynamic Snow is now added to Bloom. Other than that, there's been quite a lot of light fighter tuning changes. Bring up the SP viewer and see what they are. I've still not seen these yet. I don't know if it's a positive change, a negative change, a change we do not understand or can't quite comprehend yet. Okay, so for the Gladius, slightly more health points on the body and nose. Quite a fair bit actually. SCM speed, a minimal difference, some max speed reduction, a little bit less pitch, but not much. Acceleration down about 5% on each, and the fuel usage per second has went up. Okay, I would need to fly it to see what the difference is, but it doesn't seem too bad. A little bit off the body and nose, practically no change to speed. Oh, that's interesting. The arrow's going to be a little bit more accurate. Oh, that could be cool. I can't wait to try this. This is going to be really nice now. It was already pretty nice, but it was just lacking something on the nose control. This should help a lot. Not much a change here, and some good changes here. Plus 5% on strafe. Huh, I quite like this. The Anvil Hawk has got a nice 33% boost to health here on the nose and body. Its yawn rolls went up 8 and 7%. Pitches went down 3%. Plus 1 on SCM. Again, that doesn't seem too bad though. Pitch has taken a hit, everything else has got a bonus. Pitch is pretty important though, but this could just be them pressing out differences between the light fighters, trying to give them character, I guess. Body and nose seems to be about the same for the Car2 Owl. Pitch is down 11%, yaw and roll. Yaws went up 22, holy buckets. Well, this ship is definitely going to feel very different if you were used to flying it, I would imagine. So our main forward acceleration is down 9%, our retro reverse is down 2%, strafe left and right up 14%, up and down. Wow. So up is up is plus 17% and down is plus 120 freaking 6. That's got to be a mistake, right? Oh my god. They've basically just gave this 12 Gs in every direction apart from backward. Fair enough. The Banu Defender's coming in with a 30% boost to its yaw, 13 to its roll and 2 to its pitch. Main acceleration plus 7, retro plus 5, strafe plus 17. Okay, up is plus 6 but down is minus 4. Oh, this needs to be tried. This thing's going to be a beast. That would be cool if the Banu Defender was just suddenly awesome. Mustang Alpha has had a health boost pretty much overall. Plus 60% on the wings and stuff. Not much has changed flight characteristics wise. It's had a little bit of a nerf to its pitch. Probably just noticeable that all of its accelerations had a little nerf. Not much, but definitely enough to take the edge off it a little bit. Pretty much the same for the beta. Delta's actually been hit a little bit harder by 1 or 2%. It's minus 6 on strafe for acceleration. Minus 5 on pitch. Gamma hasn't changed much at all, just a roll, 0.5%. The Asperia Blade, okay, here we go. It's got plus 19 and plus 19 on the nose and body. It's a good change. Some extra pitch, plus 8. It's lost yaw, and it's lost roll, 5 and 2%. A percentage here and there on acceleration. So it's not changed much then, just the pitch mainly, and it's got some extra health. The Talon, oh here we go. Oh, it's been nerfed. Minus 26% on the body. Minus 6% on pitch. Plus 4 on yaw and minus 1 on roll. Oh, there's going to be people not happy about that. Minus 8% on strafe. Shit. The Talon Shrike. Again, minus 26 on body. Minus 6 on pitch. Plus 4 on yaw, minus 1 on roll. Minus 8 on strafe. Minus 2 on up. Okay. Oh, 600i. Minus 18% on the body, but the nose is up 115, and the front is up 114, and the tail is up 13. Okay, same for the touring. So that wasn't too bad, really. Besides, with the upcoming changes to flight, it's likely all to change again anyway. But I can definitely see 1 or 2 Talons getting traded in for a while. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. That's the whole week's news. Be sure to watch Forged in the Verse if you'd like to catch up on all the coolest community-made creations from the last week or so. There's also a competition on there for some paints for the Argo, some of those patch skins. And I should see y'all about the same time next week. Thank you all for watching. 07 guys.